Hello there. Well, today I'm going to talk about identity after authenticity. And basically, it's going to be a brief summary of how as far as my notions behind this book, You and Your Profile. Let me pull it up here. And it is by Hans-Georg, Moeller, and Paul D. Ambrosio. And it's a profound book. They do mention a lot of concepts, ideas, and what they seem to think is going on right now, currently, and how we, and by we, I mean regular people, are being affected, whether we know it or not. So many takeaways. As a matter of fact, I'm still in chapter 2, and there's so many thoughts, so many ideas that have came forth that, and this is, I guess, up to chapter 2-ish, because like I said, I feel like I don't want to make a long video. I always say that I don't want to make a long video, and it always ends up going long. So if you read the book, I do apologize, because like I said, I've only got to chapter 2, but it is a profound book. Now, obviously, my take is going to be different from your take, because what I perceive and versus what you perceive are probably going to be different, just because that's how, in the sphere of ideas and in the sociology of knowledge, my framing, my filter is different than yours. I am aware that I have biases, that I have my own blind spots, on and on and on it goes. So my opinion, and it's again only up to chapter 2, because I could not contain all this information, and I'm like, I have to leave it here. I wanted to keep going, but anyways, I do want to make a video on it, but I want to make it short. So I don't know if you're familiar with the word profilicity, which is a concept that these two authors bring about, and what a notion. Again, in the age of this global village, I think there's a coin phrase by Marshall McLuhan, the concept of we shape the tools, and in turn the tools shape us. And this profilicity is the result of the tools shaping us. And yes, with LLM models, with AI, with social media, the way we interact, the way we are shaped by these concepts, by these ideas, because again, we all have our own extrinsic motivations for what we do and what we seek and what we yearn for, what we would desire and what we act on, as well as intrinsic motivations. Again, these are two different realms that live within us, that causes us to seek, do, or not do certain things, or to pursue or not pursue certain things. So again, everybody's calibrated different. We all see things differently. And again, we can both read the same book, and my takeaways are going to be different than your takeaways. And at least the takeaway from profilicity is that I guess the takeaway is, how do we fight this notion? It's like we're being pulled and we're getting sucked in, and how do we keep from going under, right? How do we keep from drowning from this change that they seem to think is a negative change? So it's not a positive change, because not all change is negative, right? And I guess from my takeaway, even though I'm only in chapter 2, is how do I get out of the echo chamber, right? How do I, how can I see my own bias? How can I see my own blind spot, right? How do I acquire new information, new useful information? It has to come from outside of me, correct? So again, how do we engage in the age of cancel culture, where we can no longer see an actual up-to-date debate, right? Where the sphere of ideas, how do we peg the circle? How do we grow? How do we go? How do we keep from drowning and change to prevent the negative change that the author seems to imply? And again, I also got the notion, the feel that I know for a fact he is familiar with Jonathan Haidt and his work. The latest book is The Anxious Generation, because I think it's all coming from the same point of view that we're being changed, and we're being changed super fast. And in this anxious generation, how do we keep from going under? How can we have that conversation if I'm going to get censored? How do we have this conversation when this conversation is going to get no views, or next to none? 1 or 2 views is not considered a lot of views by any sense of the imagination, right? When there's going to be no more memberships to my channel. On the contrary, some people might unsubscribe, and full disclosure, I don't think I have more than 30 followers at best, and I guarantee you a very small percentage actually watch my feed. So as far as me worrying about losing memberships, losing likes, at least that's a good thing about having a tiny channel, is that at least I don't have to worry about that. Now I do have to worry about getting canceled, because then I can no longer share my ideas. Now, how do I get my idea across to someone that might have a different idea? That is $1 million question again. Because what is it that we value? What is it that we desire? What is it that we dare say worship? Right? Who is your favorite celebrity, right? Who is your favorite sports figure, icon, music icon? It's like, what is your favorite philosopher? Who's your best friend? Who's your favorite influencer? We all have a different take on who that might be. So in the modern vernacular, who we worship is like, what do we give our undivided attention, our spare time, our spare income, our goals pursuit? You know what I mean, right? So I know that word worship it's kind of like, some people's like, man, please don't go there, or what the heck do you mean? And this is exactly what I mean, as far as how do we have a fairly decent conversation in something that is not an echo chamber, right? Profilicity in a post-sincerity world. So what the heck is the second order operation? So we're no longer in the sincere world, and so basically is so how can I say it in few words? I definitely don't want to make this video long. So think of an influencer, right? That is popular. So his popularity depends on not talking about certain topics, because we know, whether we like to admit it or not, there are some things that are off topics. And the minute that very popular, with, say, let's just give it a number, just so we can see, so we can understand, so you can understand what I'm talking about, right? Let's say this popular influencer has 1 million subscribers, and his stream gets, say, 2 million views, right? And, I think most people would think, yeah, that's a very powerful influencer. And by power, I mean the ability to influence. So this person will be able to devote a lot of time to creating more content because he's going to have the financial backing that entails, right? A lot of subscribers, a lot of viewership means that the business world, right, in the world of capitalism, he's going to find endorsements. He's going to find, so what I'm saying is he or she, they are going to have a lot of free time to be able to do what they're doing, as opposed to someone that gets canceled or someone that cannot get revenue from posting, from streaming, right? I'm the complete opposite of what I just described. I have less than 35 followers. I believe that the most popular video ever on my channel is under 200. And that, I'm not exaggerating either. So I am, by all definitions, not an influencer, not popular, not viewed by next to no one. So, like I said, I'm the complete opposite of an influencer. I have no influence, right? That the power to persuade, the power to influence is, according to the algorithm, is next to none. My financial reward for my channel is zero. As a matter of fact, is on the red because my time equates to putting me in the red. Sorry about the distractions. Full disclosure before I continue is I am a nurse. I am on call and I have to keep my device ready to go because I might abruptly shut down the video and I'm going to have to go to work because I am on call. Sorry for that interruption because I cannot silence my phone, even if I wanted to, at least not today. So the power to influence, the influencer is very successful and gets a lot of likes and a lot of follows, but nonetheless, he or she, whomever they are, right? This person, right? They are limited. And we know this. They will not say it, but they know it. We know it. We know that there is such thing as cancel culture. We know that there's such thing as the algorithm will not, or because of like I said, in a capitalistic world, Google is a for-profit. They're like, ooh, our advertisements are not going to like that topic. So even though they have the ability to influence, they are limited. So their identity, so it's hard for me to pronounce this, sorry. Profilicity is going to be something that is going to be, he's in a way restricted. So in a sense, he's no longer going to be sincere because he or she, they know that they're not allowed to talk about certain things. Whether they want to or not, they're like, I better not. I'd rather not. Because why? If all of a sudden 500,000 people unsubscribed, it's going to hit the wallet. So that, in a sense, that's the bottom line, right? So in a sense, they are no longer able to be sincere, in a sense, right? We're talking metaphors here. We're talking ideas, right? So as a concept. So we know for a fact that not all ideas are treated equally by the algorithm, by the I don't want to say moderators, curators, sorry, by that, the algorithm that's curated, that is going to show the popular to the masses, the popular views, the popular influencer to the masses. Well, they have to toe the line or else they will get, everything's a trade-off, right? Will they trade sincerity for the alternative, the loss of revenue, the loss of likes, the loss of memberships to their channel? You see where I'm going with this, right? So this is a concept that these authors mention for the reader to ponder, how are we connected, right? As far as this exhibition of everybody, from the post selfie explosion, the post, you know what I mean, right? I'm sure you've seen those videos about where the influencer documentary type of influencer that has a little bit more freedom to bring about these certain things in a very careful crafted way. They say, some say that we are in a narcissistic age from the post selfie phenomenon, where everybody's looking and everybody's curating their profiles, and all of a sudden we have this profile identity that in a sense has been modified and has been curated, and it no longer represents the reality. And like I said, from the Anxious Generation book, Jonathan Haidt, it's like, this might be a problem as a result of social media and its after effects from those vulnerable, the adolescent, the child, that they still don't know the concept of what reality is. They lack the life experience. They lack certain things as far as the true role of a person, right, in this modern world, and they are like committing suicide at 9. And I did bring the word, sorry, just a hard topic, I understand. If you are having a mental health crisis, I would just say 988 is the emergency crisis line. Do seek a professional. It is a serious thing. There's no coming back from that. So it is a serious matter. But so these profiles, these labels, these curated things by the algorithm, where everybody's super careful not to lose memberships, not to lose, the craved likes. And before you know it, sprinkle a few years, and we have this modern world where we're wondering what's going on in this quote unquote anxious generation, where we go from first order of things to second order operations, where we are now second order of servers, where we're thinking not of how we're going to be viewed. So we are already we're forced to conform to certain things because we don't want to lose the likes. We don't want to lose the memberships. We don't want to say things that are contradictory to popular influencer type of, you know what I'm saying, right? So we are no longer allowed to have any debates of some sorts, but what grows is echo chambers. And we can no longer, there's a old saying that iron sharpens irons, and all suddenly it's like, so are we going to be dull because we can no longer have this debate? We're so fragile that a different point of view is going to break us, metaphorically speaking, right? So it's like I said, I only got to chapter 2. Like I said, I was overwhelmed with all these notions and ideas, and reflecting, and again, reflecting on how it is that my kids, remember I'm a parent, how they see the world versus how I saw the world before the age of the internet, right? Where the role models were different, right? Role models were different, where, warning, where my role model should have been like a religious figure, but then again, there's also scandals from within the church that a lot of people left the church because of abuse from priests. We went through that. That's like I said, from all aspects, there's taboo where these things can no longer be discussed, right? No longer, we live in echo chambers, and we can only say what our group, our tribe wants to hear, and vice versa, and we can no longer have serious conversations. serious topics from history. These are no longer like hypotheticals. No, these things happened, right? World War II was real. That is such a thing. What brought it about? So these things that are really significant, we can no longer discuss. The ideas that brought about change can no longer be discussed. The selfie phenomenon it's like wild, right? It's like such a phenomenon. How can we stop that? The genie side of the bottle, these LLM models are evolving super fast, and we are being shaped again by the tools that we're making, right? Marshall McLuhan, we're in the global village. We shape the tools, and in turn, the tools shape us. And here we are. Like I said, the influencer is under the authority of the comment frenzy, right? The negative comments about what they just said. And again, reinforcing the echo chamber that you best watch out, right? What is cool depends on where you want to risk saying something and getting unfollowed, right? So what is cool? Well, that depends on who follows you, right? What is allowed to be discussed? Well, that depends on who follows you, right? We are living in isolation. Even though there's 8 billion of us, we are in social withdrawal. In Japan, the Japanese culture coined the term hikikomori from the 80s. This was an event that has been happening long ago, decades and decades and decades, with extreme social withdrawal. And, well, there's no stopping this change, right? These social networks, this world of influencers, and we, by and large, are addicted to our devices. We are addicted to our likes. We are addicted to our follows. Or we're addicted to our influencers. We're addicted to our echo chambers, whether we like to admit it or not, right? This interaction, again, with the comment frenzy, which opinion, what tribe, and you better not, right? The boundaries, like, ooh, careful, I don't like what you said, careful, I'm going to cancel you, I'm going to unsubscribe, I'm going to dislike your comment, I'm going to leave a nasty comment, I'm going to talk about your, worse and worse, right? Where I'm going to destroy your what is it? Let me pull up the term. Remember, from a post-sincerity world, we are this inauthentic identity, which has been very carefully constructed, right? It's a construction. It's not a reality, right? It's insincere identity. It's been curated carefully, crafted very carefully, and yeah. I wish I can have a decent conversation where there is no BS, right? Where we can call a spade, right? And warning, I'm going to go into a brief moment of, in Christian circles, you can no longer discuss sound doctrine that is off limits. Like, you're going to bring scripture up again, in a Christian conversation. So again, if in a Christian conversation, you can no longer bring about the scripture to say, hey, is this sound doctrine, or is this no longer Christian based? We, in the Christian circles, even that conversation cannot be had. by and large. Again, by and large, the internet is huge. Yes, certain channels can have that discussion, but again, very limited, very few follows, very few views, right? But by and large, we can no longer have certain conversations. I mean, that's just how it is. It's not like, it's not a secret. At least, well, I guess if we're not in the know, we're still in our echo chambers, it might still seem like a mystery. Maybe we're not, maybe we don't see it. Maybe we're like, no. I don't think that's a reality. And but are we in idea isolation? Are we in an echo chamber? Can we actually have a debate without getting angry? Can you hear somebody else's push back on your opinion without you crumbling? I mean, it's a question. I'm not saying I have the answers. I just have a bunch of questions. I'm reading this book and I can't even get past second chapter without being overwhelmed with all these ideas and questions and like, man, I wonder, right? I wonder. And I keep wondering. And these ideas I've had for a while because, like I said, I live in, so full disclosure, I am a sucker for psychology, more importantly, abnormal psychology. So I cannot help but to look within and to look within others to see what is, not what I wish it was, but what it actually is. Remembering that the map is useful, yes, the map is useful, but it is not the territory. It's not the physicality. It's not the reality. It is useful, yes, but it's not. The map is not reality, right? So, there I asked the question, well, what is reality, right? Well, it depends on who you ask, right? It depends what kind of conversation you're allowed to have. It depends on the idea that you're allowed to share. Do we live in a post-sincerity world, right? It's a fair question that these authors ask. It's a fair question. It's a fair concept. And I am still scratching my head. And why do I take it so seriously? Because I have kids. They're not robots. They're malleable. They're going to be influenced by society, by the media, by what they watch, what they listen. There's going to be a point where they stop listening to me, right? And I'm trying to navigate these waters. You know what I mean? It's again, and sorry for going again to in the Christian world. So when I started looking in, okay, so what is reality? Supposedly, so I'm going to use supposedly, right? Supposedly, in Christian circles, what is the reality? Like, what does Christ say about Christianity in the future, right? Or in the, right? So this is, again, my opinion. So there's, I have asked this question many times in Bible study. I've asked this question to spiritual leaders. I follow different pastors, priests, bishops from all three denominations. So Orthodoxy, Catholicism, and two from Protestantism, the Calvinist pastor and the non-Calvinist pastors. And I have asked them, or I have searched for, and I have listened to in some way, directly or indirectly, in person or on the internet, or as just a consumer, just watching their videos, directly and indirectly, the same question, right? And I get their points of view. And as far as what does it mean by the 10 virgins, the concept of 10 are wise, 10 are foolish, and hands down, my conclusion, my opinion, I could still be wrong, my opinion is 50%, 50-50. 50% know what's going on in Christianity according to Christ, and 50% missed the mark. according to Christ. He's the one that said it. He's the one that gave us a parable, 50-50. So that's my opinion. At the end of the day, if you have 1 million Christians, 50%, 500,000 are going to miss mark. 500,000 are going to understand exactly what Christ meant-ish, give or take. That's the percentage of 10 are wise, 10 are foolish. And sorry for that, to bringing in this. I was trying to make this less Christian-ish, to be a more inclusive type of thing, because I think this idea is important no matter who you are, no matter what tribe you come from, no matter what idea you have, no matter who you follow, dare I say, no matter what you worship, no matter what belief or philosophy you have, or whether you don't have one. I think no matter what camp you're in, I think this book, the idea, profilicity, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, this book by Hans-Georg, Moeller, and Paul D'Ambrosio, like I said, you and your profile identity after authenticity, powerful, so powerful to me, at least in my opinion, that I cannot get past the second chapter without having to stop and say, whoa, this is overwhelming me. I have to stop here. I have to reflect. I have to take it all in. I can no longer take more. It's overwhelming. All my senses, too much information, and I could not proceed any further. As a matter of fact, I didn't finish chapter 2, and I'm like, I may have to go back and re-listen. Oh, by the way, full disclosure, I got the audio version. So, like I said, sounds like I can't even get past chapter 3, because I may have to just re-listen to chapter 1, or finish chapter 2 and go back and re-listen to chapter 1 and chapter 2 again. I'm trying to determine what's the next move. Again, there's some other things I want to do, other things that and I'm limited with free time. Again, I'm on call. I got a chance to do this. I normally would be at work, but today I'm on call, and if they call me, I have to drop everything and go into work. But this is like a gift, so I have to, like I said, I wanted to make a video before I lose this information, and before I move on. I know that I will lose information as I try to take in new information. I am limited to what I can contain. I'm limited with my memory. I can only hold so many ideas before I lose them. So I didn't also want to make this into a long video. And so, but I think these authors do make a very valid point, and very timely. And I think this book is already a few years old. When was it? At least the audio version was published. Where's my notes? Sorry, I should have my notes more closer together. But anyways, I know it's a few years old, but I still think it's very timely. And again, I think they might have published this book before the popularity of the LLMs, so it couldn't be more timely than now. Same with Jonathan Haidt's The Anxious Generation. There's so many other books that are on my queue that I listen to, but like I said, that's why I keep pushing those two, because if I'm gonna promote any two books which I think their ideas are timely, there's so many, but I want to just limit to it. I mean, at least those. There's so many others, but again, I do understand that we're all limited. Our free time is so precious, and I have a ton of books in my queue that I wish I can get to, but I'm limited. So many people I want to follow, but I'm limited. So many things, so little time, so much influence. What will I do? How much will I conform? How many opinions that are different from my own will I let in? How many books that are from a different camp will I read? Right? Question that I ask, and I keep on asking. And like I said, I'm reevaluating myself, because I am pondering last year to see if my New Year's resolution, what part did I miss? And I'm beginning to come up with my New Year's resolution for 2025. And I will make a video on that because I think it will hold me accountable if I put it in the ether. Even if only 2 people listen to it. I understand. I'm not fooling myself. I know that this is a very small channel, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, I think some ideas deserve to be mentioned. Some topics have to be said, and they will collect dust until they don't, and maybe they never will. Maybe we're drowning more and more, and some ideas will never see the light of day ever again, or maybe not. I'm starting to hear some pushback. I'm starting to hear some, wait a minute. Maybe we threw out the baby with the bathwater. Maybe. I'm not going to hold my breath. I am trying to ground myself in reality. So trying to diminish my blind spots, my biases, etc. So anyways, I think I've rambled on long enough. I will leave it there. Alex, the handle is de Sol a Sol. If you're bold, if you're not concerned about getting unfollowed, share this video. Long shot, right? Yeah, right. Give it a like. Like that's gonna happen. Because again, nothing glamorous about this video. Nothing popular about this idea. Nothing popular about me, right? This is the opposite of influencer, the opposite of a popular idea, the opposite of how I speak, my tone of voice, my accent, my improper grammar that seeps in here and there, that it cracks, especially when I'm more nervous and not, etc. I'm rambling again. All right. Well, if you're bold, leave a comment if you dare. Be unpopular like me. Right? Long shot. I know. What can I do? There you are, Alex Luna. If you want to say hi, if you want to leave a comment, if you want to follow, it's a long shot, but I did it. There you are. All right. Until next time.